Tafadhali. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Asanteni. Asanteni sana. Kusema kweli, tukio hili ni la ajabu. Karibuni, tafadhali tuelewane. Kwa niaba yangu mimi mwenyewe, mke wangu, Mama Pauline, naomba niwakaribishe sana Yatta. Actually, this is Yatta Farm, but for the purposes of our meeting today, this is Yatta. And the family holds this place in trust, I think, for the community. Yani hapa ni kwa community. Hapa si kwetu, ni kwa community. And this is why watu wa Kenya walishangaa walipovamia Northlands, wakaiba kondoo ya Mama Ngina na wakachoma a forest, which I'm quite sure for purposes of environmental challenge this time. I mean, it's really, you know, you put a forest on fire, you are militating, actually acting against the best interests of humanity. Wengine wao walisikika wakisema the next stop was Yatta Farm. This is Yatta Farm. Hawakuja. Tushangilie Mwenyezi Mungu hakufika. I always like to say what Council Paul Mwangi, I don't know whether he's in the house, is the one who showed me the text. Akasema, they were spreading across the text kusema, don't dare go to Yatta Farm, kwa sababu ukienda kule, kwanza ujue utatoka. Alafu utakaa kwa miaka 10, ukilisha hizo kondoo, na kufanya fencing. I said, you know, ordinarily, people like to associate the community around this area with other challenges. But this is a farm ambayo inalindwa na Mwenyezi Mungu mwenyewe, malaika ya Mwenyezi Mungu. So on behalf of the family, I don't know the young men here, when I went into Parliament in 1985, I wasn't married. I was elected in April, actually on 10th of April 1985. And I had to get married that same year because I knew if I delayed, kungekuwa na shida. You wouldn't know mtu anakupenda kwa sababu wewe ni mbunge ama wewe uko na mambo mengine. So I married Pauline very quickly by December. So a young man and daughter wamezaliwa na familia ya somebody who is a practicing political leader. I don't know whether Kennedy and Kevin are here. Is Kevo there? Kevo? Just join me, Kevo. Just come over. Kevo, we thank God for what he has done for that young man. He was almost crushed by a 20-tire lorry. And we thank God he survived. Anybody who witnessed that accident will know it was a terrible, terrible accident. And if it wasn't, for example, for the quick response of Governor Avinya, maybe Kevo will not be with us. We thank you so much for what you did. Governor Avinya had to cancel the trip to Kinshasa to save this young man. And then Kennedy is here. He's a member for IALA. These are my clansmates. The younger one, Klein, is not here today, but he's, I'm sure, following these proceedings. And so also their sibling daughter, Moito Damari, out pursuing her studies in the UK. So on behalf of Pauline and all of us, tunawakaribisha. Thank you so much. Thank you. I don't know whether anybody want to say anything. Yeah, thank you so much. Munaona nimeanza kuwa kazee. Pana chezea mimi. Musinichezee. And so, this place, exactly where you are, is important for me to point out because a lot of people have said things about this place. This portion, which touches Thika Highway, was bought by this family from a lady called Janet Chirchir, a widow from Kericho who had been allocated 100 acres. And below kule kwingine, from a gentleman called David, from I think Major Langat, who is also a gentleman from Nakuru. And this is in Ukambani. I thank Charity Ngilo because when she was Minister for Lands, she clarified these matters. So all the family did was to make sure tuweke to kuta mikana Ukamba ndukalikilwe mbewapo. Na nicho kitumi anakialame bano a David wakithimani masi aume mao kitumetele. Nundu maisi the kava undu silie. Lakini mayaoka. Sorry for going local because allow me today just to spoil myself by being a little bit not obnoxious, absurd. Because that is what we are. We like to be very open. And so the story of why we are here is different. We met here on the 15th of January last year. And you want me to now allow me to just read this following one, kwa Kizungu. After that, I will invite my brother Raila, aje azungumze like our practice is. And then the principals of Azimio will speak. Today I want to make a very special request that nobody leaves this place in a hurry. I can tell you, the collective effort I've seen in putting this effort together is amazing. I want to thank Governor Malombe, Governor Junior, Mutula Junior, the host Governor Wavinya. And I want to say my friend RK, immediate former MP for Wajir East. I know I saw him. Alipeana mbuzi, wakubwa tano all the way from Wajir. Our sister Agatha Solitei, the chair lady of Elections Board. I've never seen a more wonderful lady. Alitoa mbuzi huko Sultan Hamud. Zikachinjwa. Na mimi nikaongezea na wengine ma MCA, I'm shocked. MCAs wa Makueni wametuma mbuzi, MCAs wa Mkitui, and I didn't want this to be a collective effort. In fact, quite honestly, tulikuwa tungangane. Kwa hivyo, the conclusion of that matter is please don't go in a hurry. Tutatafuta mbuzi Kioni, Nyandarua Nembali. Tutachinja zingine na zingine until really we feel that we have fraternized because we are celebrating the within the Azimio coalition. And I want to thank the clergy again, Apostle Musili, and wonderful. Let me actually again ask kwa heshima all the clergy who are here to stand again, because we want to really recognize in a very special way. Yaani hawa watu ni wengi, tuwapigie makofi. And I know there were prayers in Machakos yesterday. I thank Governor Wavinya for inviting them again. She attended out of courtesy. Alafu akasema kujeni pia Yata Farm kesho tuungane na nyinyi. Tuwapigie makofi because we are all doing this with a very clear conscience. There is no conflict of interest. Hakuna mabishano. You cannot compete when it comes to prayers. Thank you so much. There's no competition whatsoever. I know that Father Mutie in particular, I want to recognize Father Mutie. That gentleman is actually the chair, the national chairperson of all the religious community in Kenya. And I'm told that the only time the Catholics, the Muslims, the Hindus, the Presbyterians and all feel comfortable is when Father Mutie is actually on the chair. And I think if I'm not wrong, our brother comes from Mwala. That is true, isn't it? Mwala. Oh, where exact? Oh, Matungulu. Kwa mwana mole. I want to actually ask you, we'll be very unorthodox. Just come Wanekana, because then anybody who feels not recognized, I recognize Father Mutie, and I think all of us will know that even Ole Sapit will feel recognized. He may not be here at the Church of the Anglican Church in Kenya. He came the other day to talk to me and to pray with me, and I want to thank you. It reminds me of the country, my second country, where I went to do my postgraduate work, Cyprus. But him, I think, is Orthodox, and I want to really thank you for finding the time. Thank you. Thank you. I therefore now I'll recognize the others as I go on, and then I'll call my brother Raila. Nimevalia kijeshi na sio jeshi. Kuna vijana hapa when I was coming in, walikuwa wanasema KDF. So now, KDF, I discovered, nikauliza ni nini, nikasema Kalonzo Defense Forces. Ukiwaangalia wengine, they can do with an extra lunch. But it is the spirit of commitment and the love for their country which makes them come out strongly, and more particularly, defense of democracy. I am wearing like this, and if a time at the end, I really love to sing the words in one of the gospel songs, stand up for Jesus. Ye soldiers of the cross, lift up his royal banner, for it must not suffer loss. From victory to victory, his army shall he lead. And beautiful hymn writer, how relevant it is. This is a time to stand up, the clergy, Kenyans, stand up for Jesus. Because you cannot be standing up for Jesus if you're in Shakahola. And I'm happy the church has come out very clearly on this matter. But I wonder why Raila Odinga was denied access to Shakahola, and they allowed Shakila, my party secretary general, because I think the Senate committee was going there. So, in the spirit of openness, this matter about Shakahola has hit international news. It has put this country's name negatively. Watch Al Jazeera, you watch other places. Therefore, it behoves us as a nation to be very open about what happened in Shakahola. And as Shakila said, I think that we will know eventually the truth. Now, allow me to read the following, because I want to really celebrate our teams. The clergy present have delivered a timely and very thoughtful message that at its heart reminds us whose children we are and why all of us, at all the times, we must praise and be thankful to our mighty God. I'm thus vividly reminded of Psalms 9:1. I quote, I will give thanks to you, Lord. With all my heart, I will tell of all your wonderful deeds. The last time we gathered here, on January 15, 2022, we had the Yatta Declaration. And I would want to invite my brother Raila, on behalf of Azimio Fraternity, to come up with the Yatta Declaration 2. We, as an affirmation of the endorsement of few months prior, in November, at our Wiper Democratic Movement, a national delegates conference in Kasarani, when we then Yatta won, the declaration affirmed the conclusions of what had happened at the delegates conference. Ultimately, as Wiper and the One Kenya Alliance, Oka, my sister mother at that point was actually with me in Oka, having consulted widely and particularly cognizant of what was at stake for all the people of Kenya. We joined hands with my brother, former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, and Sister Martha Karua in Azimio la Umoja One Kenya, and crafted the Azimio One Kenya coalition. Others were my brother Gideon Moi was with us, and Kanu in Oka, and I think several other friends who sometimes the going became very tough. I saw one of them running as independent somewhere in Luo Nyanza. However, our presidential electoral victory was openly stolen by the minority Chebukati-led Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission, IEBC, and illegally validated at the Supreme Court of Kenya. In the National Assembly, our majority coalition numbers were unlawfully and systematically reduced to mirror the farce of a stolen election. Today, I want to express my sincere appreciation to all of the Wiper leadership who, despite intimidation and overt bribery, notwithstanding the bets of which political party would be the first to fall prey to the whims of those who currently hold the instruments of power, stood and continue to stand firm and tall. Heko to Wiper members of parliament. None of them was able to get hoodwinked. And if any of them would dare after today, clearly, the next general election utakuwa umejipeleka nyumbani wewe mwenyewe. As your party leader, I take particular pride when I look at all of you and take